Hello, my name is Aiden Wright, and this is Globalization in my educational community. Before we delve into globalization within my community, we first need to understand what globalization really is, and how it affects our education. According to Joel Spring, in his book American Education, globalization of education refers to the worldwide discussions, processes, and institutions influencing local educational practices and policies. In practicality, what this means is keeping our citizens up with the global job market. In today's world, skills are the new currency, and our education is critical in making sure that our citizens have the skills they need. There are soft and hard skills, which I will get into later, but this all comes back to the human capital theory, which in essence applies our citizens as a sort of workforce currency, per se. My personal educational background is somewhat unique. I'm from Collinsville, New Jersey, which is a small suburb of Philadelphia, and for the first 9 years of my education, I attended the Collinswood elementary schools and middle schools. After that, however, I transferred to Bishop Eustace, which is a small private Catholic school in South Jersey, meant to prepare the students for college. So therefore, I have two perspectives of schooling, public and private, as I have attended both for a significant amount of time. The first schooling system we will look at is the Collinswood Public Schooling System, which is the one that I attended for 9 years. Now, although I did not go to the Collinswood High School, I had many friends who went there, and I've heard a lot about it. One thing I do know is that from my time in the middle school, there was a lot of standardized testing, and it certainly did not stop in high school from what I've heard. So right here, we are on the Collinswood High School website, and we have the principal's message here, and I thought it was interesting that when you look at the message, in the fourth paragraph, it talks about the Common Core state standards, which is just sort of proves that they are certainly in touch with the standardized testing, and they are committed to the cause of Common Core, as they are a public school, and New Jersey has adopted Common Core from what I know. One interesting part of Collinswood's makeup is how it pulls in students from 3 different towns. You have Collinswood students in the high school from freshman year onwards. Students from Woodland, which is a very small little suburb that's 1 town away, they also come in freshman year. And then from a slightly smaller town called Oakland, we pull in students after their freshman year at Oakland. So the makeup is very different. Also, there's a fair amount of students who don't speak English, as it is a public school, so we pull in all sorts of students. So there is certainly a globalized facet of the school, as you have students who don't speak English or have just come from a foreign country, and they are in our classes, and we are learning with them, and we're seeing as they learn English. We will now transition to looking at my high school, Bishop Eustace Preparatory School. It is very different from Collinswood High School for a myriad of reasons. Number one, it's private. It is a Catholic school. There is a sort of Catholic mission that they're going on. However, the most important for this project, I believe, is how it does not apply to Common Core. There's not a lot of standardized testing within Bishop Eustace. Freshman and sophomore year, we had 1 standardized test for a 3-day period, and we had the PSAT, obviously. However, that was really it. Compared to my friends at Collinswood High School, there was very little standardized testing at Bishop Eustace. And one of the other key differences is that I believe that Bishop Eustace really knew how to prepare its students for the real world, in that it knows how to teach soft skills. Now, soft skills are skills that are sort of like knowing how to work with people or time management, things like that. And I figured the best way to show you the vibe that the school gives off is by showing you one of their admissions videos that really just captures what the essence of the school is.
When a parent and a student look at Bishop Eustace and they decide to come here, I think primarily their goal is, this is going to prepare me for college. While I believe that 100%, I think you get a lot more. I think what you can expect from Bishop Eustace is, this is a lifelong relationship. You come here to prepare them for college, but in that process of preparation, they build relationships that are life-lasting.
I think it's the ideals that Bishop Eustace instills in you while you're here that really makes you the person that you are when you're in the future. And so I think that as a student here, and hearing what the teachers have to say, and hearing the message that is offered, you really carry that with you in life, and ultimately that's what makes you a successful person.
The high academic standard at Bishop Eustace makes you accomplish all your goals and achieve things that you want to achieve.
Being around students that are really highly educated and definitely very smart, it definitely inspires you to want to work a lot harder in school. And when your friends are there going through the same exact things that you're going through, and they're just as dedicated as you are, it's really a good feeling. And it really helps you.
The second part of Joel Spring's Globalization of Education chapter in his book is about the business of education and the business of global education. There is a huge business in this test prep cultures. Parents will send their children to places designed to get their students ready for tests. I was one of those students. I went to math prep for the SAT, as well as a SAT prep class my junior year. So, if I had to guess, most students who are trying to get into good colleges are in this test prep culture of preparing and paying money to people to prepare them for the test. Now, although Bishop Eustace is not part of Common Core in their curriculum and their standardized test culture, they still have to prepare their students for standardized tests because they're trying to get them into good colleges. And to do that, they need to do well on the SAT or the ACT. Now, it's interesting because as a global society, well, as a global educated society, this test prep culture could possibly feed into a similar level of education between those preparing for such tests. So, for instance, between me at Bishop Eustace in my junior year and my friends at Collingswood High School in their junior year, we had a similar level of knowledge. We were learning the same things, all because we were both trying to equally prepare for this standardized test. Therefore, although Bishop Eustace and Collingswood High School are on completely different tracks and they're trying to do different things, because of standardized testing, because of the important standardized testing, the SAT or the ACT, there is a similar level of knowledge between students attending both schools. Furthermore, as a brief aside, the global educational business is an expanding business because families want their children to do good and will invest more and send more children to these places because of the prevalence of high-stakes testing in today's society, thanks to Common Core. I've mentioned skills throughout this entire video. However, I figured it would be smart to delve farther into them. So hard skills and soft skills are the two main skills that we use or that we build up. And both are very important. So hard skills are skills that are taught. So for instance, operating machinery, operating computers, doing construction, doing landscaping, stuff like that. Those are applied on the job on a day-to-day basis and are very important for being good at the job and moving up within the job. However, there's a second set of skills called soft skills, which I value more importantly at our stage of education and on the high school level, which is what we've been looking at. These are skills that are more innate. They're within us. They don't really apply to a specific job. It's more just like they're attributes that we apply to the job. So working with people is very important to be successful in a job because you need to work with your coworkers to be successful. Time management is obviously very important in getting things done and really effectively doing your job. And stress management is also effective in maintaining your happiness on the job. And happiness is very important because if you're not happy on the job, then there's a good chance that you won't be effective. Now, both Collingswood and Bishop Eustace taught hard skills and soft skills, but from from my perspective at least, Bishop Eustace have a much larger emphasis on the soft skills. Now, you saw that in the admissions video I showed you. They're talking about how you'll make lifelong friends, you'll learn how to be a good person, this and that. It's a whole rigmarole. And Collingswood, I'm sure, teaches soft skills just within the school. However, it's certainly not as big of an emphasis, and I think it's very important. And this all ties back to globalization because these skills, as I mentioned earlier, are the new currency in the job market. So if we're competing with people from all around the world, these skills are what set us apart and are very critical for us to be able to be hired. And that is why it's important that our high schools are teaching these sort of skills. Very critical. In conclusion, Bishop Eustace and Collingswood High School are both very different schools within my educational community. They have different styles. Bishop Eustace focuses less on the standardized testing, whereas Collingswood does because of Common Core. However, at the end of the day, they both teach hard and soft skills. Bishop Eustace has a heavier focus on it. However, they both still teach those skills. And more importantly, both schools are assisting their students with entering the globalized workforce. They are investing in the human capital of their students, and that will pay off in the future as the students are going to go into the workforce with the skills they need to function. Thank you.